Picture this with me. You're standing on a narrow road. Fog surrounds you. It's so thick, you can't see more than a few feet ahead. Then, in the silence, you hear it. A voice, clear and steady. Keep walking. Hearing the voice is an opportunity to step out in faith. Taking the first step is your faith in action. Faith means moving forward when nothing makes sense. It means trusting God, not because you see the way, but because you trust in His leading. And if you're waiting until it's easy, clear, or safe, you're not walking by faith. You're just standing still. God doesn't leave you guessing. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith isn't emotion, it's not optimism, it's substance, it's evidence. It grabs a hold of God's promise before anything around you confirms it. And 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7 reminds us, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." Sight says, "Show me first." Faith says, "If God said it, I believe it." Let's walk with Abraham for a moment. Not just through the highlight reel, but through the uncertain steps of his journey. Imagine this. You're 75 years old. Life is settled, but then God speaks, and everything changes. Genesis 12, verse 1. "Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, unto a land that I will show thee." No map, no timeline, just a command. And verse 4 says, "So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him." That's faith. Not blind faith, but trust in the God who sees the road ahead. But the journey, it wasn't easy. Genesis 12, verse 10. "There was a famine in the land, and Abram went down unto Egypt. He obeyed, but he still faced hardship. He feared, he lied, but God didn't abandon him." Genesis 13. "Lift up now thine eyes, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it." God reaffirmed His promise, not because Abraham was perfect, but because God is faithful. But years passed, and still no child. Genesis 15, verse 5 and 6. "Now look toward heaven, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and He counted it to him for righteousness." That is one of the most important moments in Scripture. Abraham believed, and God counted it as righteousness. Even when Sarah tried to help God through Hagar, it only brought pain. But God didn't forget His word. Genesis 17, verse 19. "Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac." And then came the ultimate test. Genesis 22, verse 2. "Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and offer him." This was the child Abraham waited 25 years for, and God says, "Give him back." In verse 3, "And Abraham rose up early in the morning." No protest, just obedience. He builds the altar, and he raises the knife. But God steps in and provides a ram instead. Hebrews 11 explains what Abraham believed, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead. Romans chapter 4 says, "He staggered not at the promise of God through unbelief, being fully persuaded that what God had promised, He was able also to perform." And Galatians 3, "They which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham." The God who called Abraham is still calling people today. And that blessing, that walk by faith, it starts with a single step. Maybe you've heard God's voice. Maybe He's been stirring your heart, that you've been waiting for clarity, waiting for certainty. Abraham didn't wait. He obeyed, and God was faithful every step of the way. You don't have to see the full path, just the next step, and the one who walks with you. The fog may not lift today, but the next step is still in front of you. And we walk from faith to faith, one step at a time.